Hi, dear explorers. Are you ready to blast off into space? Today, we are going to read a super cool book called How It Works Rocket. This amazing book is written by Amelia Hepworth and illustrated by David Semple. Have you ever looked up in the sky and seen a rocket fly? Or wondered how astronauts get all the way to space? Well, this book is like a mini space mission just for us, and we'll learn how rockets are built, how they launch, and what happens on their amazing journey up into the sky and beyond. So, grab your space helmets and buckle up. We are about to take off on a learning adventure. Do you know what is a rocket? A rocket is a vehicle that flies to space. It is made up of many different parts. Let's find out how it works. Rocket sits on a launch pad and point toward the sky. Look, this is the launch pad. They are very tall, so the astronauts have to climb a special tower to get into them. As the rocket is so tall, the astronauts have to climb a special tower. Rumble, rumble. This is our rocket's wing. 3, 2, 1, blast off! A rocket has to fly very fast to get to space. To do this, it needs a lot of fuel. As it uses up its fuel supply, parts of the rocket are released and fall back to Earth. This means that the rocket gets smaller and smaller as it travels. Look, this is the fuel tank. And the rocket is going up in the sky. Zoom! And these are the exhaust gases. Out of this world. This is our own planet Earth. And this is our sun. The rocket has made it all the way to outer space. Rockets contain smaller spacecraft that go out on missions to collect information. This is the command module. This is the astronaut. And this is lunar module. One small step for man. The lunar module has landed on the moon. Look, this is the moon, and it's the crater of the moon. The astronauts' footprints will stay on the moon forever because there is no wind to blow them away. Astronauts can stay in space for months or even years, so they need many supplies. These are kept inside the service module. Prepare for re-entry. It's almost time for the rocket to return to Earth. It needs to be as light as possible. So the astronauts eject everything they don't need, like the service module. They use the last of their fuel to point the rocket in the right direction. Hold on tight. It's going to be a bumpy ride. Whoosh, whoosh. Look, this is the heat shield and the nose cone. Do you know the nose cone? Look at here. Splash down. A huge parachute helps to slow the rocket down so it can land safely in the water. Look, with the help of big parachute, the rocket is splashing down. Then the rocket and astronauts are picked up by a recovery ship. Look, the recovery ship and the men are waving hand and saying, "Welcome home." The end. Wow, that was such an awesome journey into space. Now we know how rockets work, from the fuel that powers them to the amazing job They do helping astronauts explore the stars. Isn't it incredible what science and teamwork can do? And guess what? Maybe one day you could help build rockets, fly them, or even explore a new planet. Thanks for joining me on this rocket ride. Keep asking questions, keep looking up at the stars, and remember every big adventure starts with a curious mind. See you on our next mission. Till then, bye bye.